This is the leading contender right here for National Freshman of the Year, Smitty. Jordy Bahl out of Nebraska.
Jordy Bahl is a freshman, but she throws like a senior. She looks like a lion in a cage. She is hunting her prey. She has energy, she has passion, and oh boy, can she make the ball move. She just has the ability to go on the edges, go up in the zone, but this is a freshman who is very talented. Look for her to deal it this afternoon in the circle. She's going to use that power and that poise that she is just so talented with. It's a jumpy rise ball, but she can also mix speeds, an off-speed drop that just falls off the table.
Let the bedlam begin. The first pitch from Jordy Bahl in for a strike. Oklahoma right now in position to grab the overall #1 seed in the NCAA tournament, which is just a few weeks away now. Oklahoma State trying to secure a top 8 seed, which would allow them to stay close to home throughout the tournament. Dropping down the bunt, Kylie Naomi, and Bahl quick to cover that. Naomi to the top spot in the order, Jess. One of the changes for Oklahoma State after they struggled to hit and score against a very good Florida State pitching staff last week, they kind of hit the reset button here coming to Norman.
And you've seen Kenny Gajewski do this a lot over the course of the last few weeks. They've played good softball, but they haven't hit the capability he knows they can. So he bumped Naomi up to that leadoff spot, even though she's hitting just 240.
Caitlin Carwile, the sophomore from Purcell, Oklahoma, hitting 348 in Big 12 play. She is one of the younger players that has moved into the starting lineup and earned a much bigger role.
Only 11 at-bats last year as a freshman, and now here she is, a huge offensive push for this team.
0-1 from Bahl. The Sooners, the defending national champs, led in the circle last year by G. Juarez, who went 5-0. To guide the Sooners to the title a year ago. It's a younger pitching staff. And it includes the transfer Hook Troutwine, and we may see get the start tomorrow. Carwile fouls one out of play. It is the #1 ERA as a team in the country, and their 3 main pitchers all in the top 10. They've only given up 26 earned runs in their 46 games. That's how good they've been. Rise at the eyes, 1-2. These are also a couple of programs with aspirations of getting back to the Women's College World Series. It's been back-to-back trips for Oklahoma State. And a strikeout for Bahl. Dropped that one down in the zone, 2 out.
And that's what Bahl can do. She will move your eyes to the upper part of the zone with that rise ball, and then she'll come back downstairs. This is an off-speed pitch. It's just low, it's slow. Carwile out in front of it.
First strikeout for Jordy, who averages 11 strikeouts per 7 innings. You have to be specific with the Sooners, simply because in their 46 games, they have 35 run rules. So they hardly have to throw a 7-inning complete game.
That's 75% of their games. Incredible.
Here is Miranda Elish. Slow roller right back to Bahl, and it's 1, 2, 3. The Sooners picking up the bats when weekends ago, and then a hard luck loss in extra innings to Florida State last weekend. Jack Coleman in the leadoff spot for the 8th game in a row. A little bit of a shuffle at the top for the Oklahoma Sooners a few weeks ago. With Jocelyn Alo, the designated player again tonight, with the all-time home run leader, followed by Tiare Jennings, Grace Lyons, Lindsey Elam, and Alyssa Brito. They all have double-digit home runs on the season as Coleman pops it up, 1 down. as a look at one of the top lineups that we've seen historically. They put up huge numbers last year, led by Alo, who hit 4 home runs at the Women's College World Series to tie a record, including a pair to secure games 2 and 3 in their championship series victory over Florida State. Averages a long ball 1 in every 6 at-bats over the course of her career.
And what's amazing is her batting average to go with the power. I mean, a lot of times you think you sacrifice the power or the batting average. No, she's got both. At 479 with those 23 home runs this year.
.42 walks and just 14 strikeouts. She tends to put the ball in play when pitchers choose to throw it to her. There was a 2 or 3 week stretch there when she was on the brink of breaking the home run record that teams were avoiding her. But you're right, Smitty, she arrived on the scene and immediately showed to be one of the great sluggers of all time and has developed into one of the great hitters, period, of all time.
Well, and the way she adjusts, too. She's so far off the plate toward the back of the box.
Without a man, Maxwell tries to come in on her hands.
And that's the only way to get her. I mean, you have to be able to just not let her barrel get to the ball, and that's why, Smitty, she's had to adjust so many times, and she'll get hit a lot because pitchers are trying to get in on her body.
And to your point, Jess, when you're throwing to a power right-handed hitter, myself as a left-handed pitcher, you have to throw to the hitter. You have to throw to the body of the hitter. You cannot throw to the plate. Now, when you're behind and you need a strike, you have to throw to the plate, so that's where it's a little bit of a pickle.
Full count, Alo off the 1-hop. Pennington at third, 2 down.
What's nice about that pitch sequence, too, because they came in so much, what did Jocelyn Alo have to do? She had to get quick. She had to get her body going, so she was way ahead of the off-speed that was middle away to get the ground out.
2 down, here's Tiare Jennings at second base again tonight. 5 home runs in her last 8 games, including 1 in each of the 3 wins over Kansas last weekend, when she drove in 8. Led the country a year ago in RBI. And she's back in the top 10 this year with 64 of them to go with her 21 homers. Maxwell hits the target. Kelly, the junior out of Friendswood, Texas. 15 wins last year when she was alongside All-American Carrie Eberly. 15 wins so far this year. Both of these players amongst the 10 finalists for National Player of the Year honors. In foul territory. And both pitchers able to get the 1, 2, 3 inning score
For the Sooners. Look at the way she just sulks around the circle, too. I mean, she just cannot wait for the batter to get into the batter's box. It doesn't shock me that she can field her position. I mean, she is someone that just wants to play.
4, 5, and 6 coming up for the Cowgirls. You may have noticed, too, it's a bit breezy down there on the field from Holly's report. Winds between 15 to 20 miles per hour. And right now the flag's blowing back in towards home plate. Contra, the junior from Stillwater, who spent her first years at Florida and decided to transfer back home. Both of these coaches and their staffs have been phenomenal in the transfer portal, picking up key pieces to add to their rosters.
Her stance is so unique right now with 2 strikes. I don't think I've ever seen that now. She's literally crossing her legs. She wasn't doing this earlier. So now with 2 strikes, putting her legs crossed, almost like a slapper would as they're coming across. This eliminates her lower half, is all I can think about. Is she's just trying to stay, and then she'll get back into that stance as the pitch is coming.
Well, last weekend at Florida State, we did not see her do this. So she must have been working on some stuff through the week. Trying to stay more maybe on that back leg.
People from going forward. We talked to Kenny Gajewski before the game. They said they were going to try big risks, doing big things this week to try to do things offensively they've never done before. I have never seen this, ever.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Well, in her last 8 games, her OPS is over 1,000. So she's got a couple of home runs. She's got a few other extra base hits.
I'm not sure what I think of it. The only thing that one of the things I don't like is just that you want to minimize head movement. She's coming out of that into her stance. So watch her head kind of drop down. But hey, it's going to get her where she needs to be.
Back and out of play.
Yeah, my biggest thing is just calming the lower half. And I know a lot of times you get big hitters, they get too active. She's so strong, she doesn't need to have a huge ignition from her lower half. And that's what I'm thinking she's trying to do.
300 hitter on the season with 10 home runs. Jammed, and that is the 3rd slow roller right back to Jordy Bahl in the first 4 she has faced, 1 down.
See, she comes out of it, but this pitch on the inside corner, up and in, and Castro with a little bit of a laugh, just knowing she did not get extended on that.
This is Carly Petty. Kenny Gajewski looking to get a spark in the lineup. Has gone to some players that haven't had a ton of game time in recent weeks. Just 7 plate appearances in her last 8 games for Carly, a junior from nearby Moore, Oklahoma. Went to high school with Florida State star Sydney Sherrill. And trying to find some green grass and does. Drops that into right center for a base hit.
Another lefty into this lineup. It's just an easier look to Jordy Bahl, and on this one, just saying, really trying to meet this rise ball. It's not hit hard, but finds grass for a base hit. And that's why Carly Petty is in this lineup. I mentioned it, only 7 plate appearances in the last 8 games.
Hunch pays off there. Here's Cheyenne Factor, the center fielder tonight. Lot of first pitch swing. They are trying to attack early. Cheyenne was hitting in the 2 spot in the lineup in that Florida State series last week. They lost a couple of heartbreakers. They had been 7-0 in 1-run games, and they lost both of those to the Noles by a run. Infield pop-up. Snow tracks it down, 2 outs. Holly?
So guys, Kenny Gajewski told us that about 6 weeks ago, he had the team fill this question out on a piece of paper. What is our mentality as hitters? And he said, we got back some really weird answers that I didn't necessarily like. So they decided to break everything down. He said, we went back to scratch, completely changed the swing. And that seems outrageous to do right in the middle of your season, but he said, we weren't getting any better, and I knew we had to change something. So seeing some new things.
Well, Holly, and a lot of what he said is he felt like their bat or approach to the ball was too steep. He wanted them to try to flatten out that bat head through the zone, so you have a greater possibility of that ball showing up and therefore barreling it up.
Did a lot of high tee drills.
Rifled right at Janet Johns, who stays down on it. Base hit, one stranded. In hostile territory. Game 1 of Bedlam, best of 3 here to decide the Big 12 regular season championship. Holly Rowe down on the field with us. I'm Beth Mullins, along with our Olympic gold medalists Michelle Smith and Jessica Mendoza. Oklahoma, the #1 team in all the land, 45-1, that lone loss to the Texas Longhorns. Lions, Elam, and Brito coming up for the Sooners. The Texas loss, and then one other Big 12 loss last year to
Oklahoma State.
There you go. Those are the only 2 conference losses for the Sooners in this remarkable run they have been on.
Yeah.
Winning the national championship, breaking all kinds of records last year. And right back on pace to follow it up. Lions, good snag by Naomi with the backhanded short one down.
Well, Beth, and this has always been a great rivalry. When I was at Oklahoma State, we were very successful against Oklahoma. Really, the tide turned from the Big 8 to the Big 12 is when Patty Gasso was hired. Oklahoma built a stadium. Oklahoma State did not really have the facilities, and little by little, you could just see the uptick. And obviously, that 2000 national championship was really, the start of great things for Patty Gasso in Oklahoma.
The 5 titles here. She has won 84% of her Bedlam games against OSU. That is 17-1 since Kenny Gajewski arrived in Stillwater.
And having the Women's College World Series right down the road, I mean, that's what brought softball excitement to the state. More young girls playing. I mean, so many of the players on the field right now are from the state of Oklahoma.
Back in the day, there were all those great athletes from Arizona, from California, but Texas started to build Oklahoma, USA softball right up the road in Oklahoma City. This is a great softball state. It has been for the last 30 years.
And of course, the big news in the offseason was the funding falling into place here at Oklahoma for the brand new Loves Field. They're going to break ground soon, just down the street. Should be ready for play in 2024. Skied out to Hobson and left, 2 outs.
Kelly Maxwell doing a nice job early, especially against these righties. A lot of right-handed batters in this lineup. Just not allowing them to get extended, really getting in on the hands. Michelle, you talked about this. That angle from the left side coming in is just so different and so unique, especially if you've not faced a lot of lefties. You can get a lot of right-handed pitchers that can try to get in the kitchen of these right-handed batters, but from the left side, that angle, it's so good.
Well, those are the great things about baseball and softball. It's a science, a numbers game. It's angles, and what helps Kelly Maxwell is that she has that left-handed angle coming in, as you're mentioning. And so you think, I got to be early as a righty. I got to be early, and then she drops in that off-speed drop, right? And so it plays. Those 2 pitches play into each other to make her very successful.
Hey, this is the WNBA's 26th season that we're on the verge of. It's Saturday on ESPN and the app. Tip-off weekend with our featured matchup, reigning MVP Jonquel Jones leading the Sun against Sabrina Ionescu, and the New York Liberty. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern. A lot of big names moving around. Should be another fabulous summer. We welcome Becky Hammon back to the fold, the new head coach for the Las Vegas Aces this summer. One more go-round for Sue Bird, too, in Seattle. Kelly Maxwell has retired the first 5 she has faced. Here's Alyssa Brito. One of the big name transfers, came in from Oregon as an infielder and fought for and found a spot in the outfield this season for the Sooners. Will probably move back onto the dirt next year. But one of those players that, you love to have around. Hey, whatever I can do to help the team, whatever I can do to get on the field on a regular basis, and she put in the work to do it.
Well, Patty Gasso talks about it. She always has a competitive environment. day in and day out at practice. And she said this team loves to compete. I gotta want that.
Talked about her passion over and over again. A very passionate player. It's hard to come into this lineup and try to battle and fight your way in, especially when you're a star. You were a starter at Oregon.
13 home runs on the season. And back to make the grab is Avery Hobson out in left. 6. We want to be there in that last game. We want that game 3 to be meaningful. And then we want to be in that last game of the entire season at the World Series. And these kinds of matchups help prepare both sides for what's to come in the postseason.
Yeah, and Kenny Gajewski every year is like, hey, sign me up for these big early season tournaments. I want to play the best out there. And last week, he went to Florida State, right in the middle of conference play. He said, we'll play anyone, anywhere.
I like what he said, too, about coming into this different from years past. He said, we're not coming in trying to beat Oklahoma. We just want to win a ball game.
Yeah.
And before, it was always that huge task if we want to beat this team that we haven't beat. Now it's like, let's just go win a ball game.
1-2 to Bree Evans, bottom of the order here, and it's strikeout number 2 for Jordy Ball, 1 away.
Jordy Ball continues to use the entire zone. She'll go up, and then she comes right back with this low and outside pitch, and Bree Evans is just going to chase this well out of the zone. It's away, it's down. Evans looking for something hard. The off-speed shows up, and she swings through it.
Very efficient with her pitches so far as the Cowboys like those first couple of pitches that they see. Here's Avery Hobson in that 9 spot. She was at the top of the order last weekend, a sophomore out of Missouri. That's on corner for Ball. The weight of expectation on those shoulders pretty much her entire softball life. National Player of the Year in high school. The best player in the state of Nebraska the last couple of seasons. Had originally agreed to go to Lincoln when she was a youngster and then reopened her search for a home and found one here. She was undefeated as a high school senior and a fabulous hitter, by the way. She was a .500 hitter with home run power. And she talked to Patty Gasso this season, and they decided, you know what, let's focus on the pitching this year. Jordy talked about perfecting that aspect of her game first.
Well, when you have a lineup like Oklahoma has, yeah, I mean, focus on the one thing that you need to do the best, and that's sling it in the circle. I love it. It's a very mature decision because a lot of times you come in, you think I was a stud in high school, swinging it and ripping and gripping it. You want to do both, but it says a lot about her mentality.
Pops up the 2-2 pitch. Grace Lyons back on the grass, 2 down.
Credit these Oklahoma State hitters, though, and they have been putting the ball in play. Only 2 strikeouts through the lineup as the top of the order comes up, and you know, Jordy Ball is used to striking out when she faces 7 of the 9 batters. You tell the approach coming into this game was to swing early and counts, not get behind.
Naomi, the senior from Louisiana, has played in a couple of World Series. With some of these older players, I think that Gajewski is really hoping, you know, when they hit sort of the reset button this year and started working on their swings a lot more, that they would be able to pick it up heading into the postseason. Because you know from here on out, And especially as you get deeper into the tournament, and if you get to Oklahoma City, you're going to see some live arms.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to get a lot tougher to feel comfortable in the batter's box.
Well, you have to be consistent. You have to be short to the ball, because elite pitchers are not going to give you time. They're going to have great spin, and they're going to have a lot of different locations.
0-2 pitch. Johns knocks it down, has time to make the play.
Every game we can televise, it will be on ESPN+. It's not a game like tonight where you're picking it up and putting it on ESPN.
Okay, and this will go until you join the SEC in a few years, and that's amazing.
It's a great thing. It's great for the Big 12 Conference as well, because that Big 12 now, and it's a great match all the way across the board. It'll be easy for people to find and use the app on any one of their screens that they like.
All right, I love it. More softball, so you can all be happy on Twitter and with the angry tweets at Holly Rowe. And congratulations, it's a huge landmark deal, and we're excited to be part of your family.
Well, we're excited to have you back part of our family, too, in another way, as well as having a bigger scale. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. Thanks to Joe. Sooner Vision coming to ESPN Plus this August. Talon Snow, Janet Johns, and Riley Boone. The Sooners looking for their first hit tonight against Kelly Maxwell. The lefty has sent all 6 back to the dugout so far. Game 1 of our best of 3 series, all prime time on the ESPN networks. Winner of the series wins the Big 12 regular season championship. Oklahoma, it would take a lot to derail them from the top spot, the #1 overall seed, when the selection committee gets together on May 15th. This is a big weekend, though, for Oklahoma State. A win in one of these games would likely allow them to stay at home for the regionals and super regionals if they can win, and then it's a short trip to Hall of Fame Stadium for the World Series.
There are some funky shadows on the field right now. A lot of times when you see shadows, they don't just come in a line right over the batter's box, but you can tell right there in that look, sun to shadow, the ball just looks a little funky out of the hand.
And the strikeout of Snow, that's the first for Maxwell, 1 away.
Trying to pick up spin here. Kelly Maxwell is tough enough. Great movement. You're going to see her come inside on the hands. Talon Snow is actually early. Smitty, you talked about this early. When you know she's coming in, you try to ignite, fire those hips early. Plus, you have the difficulty of light to dark. Just to add on top of that for these pitchers.
Here's Janet Johns. 5th year out of Calhoun, Georgia. Started out at South Carolina the last couple of seasons here in Norman. Has a 7-game hitting streak where she's hit 400. And has an RBI in all 7 of those games as well. 11 total. It's a small sample size, as you referenced earlier, Michelle, but she's hitting .467 against left-handers.
And it's funny, some right-handed hitters just see the ball really well out of a lefty's hand. They like the angle at which the ball comes in, and I'll admit it, I had a couple of right-handed hitters that
Who got you?
Brundage was always
Jen Brundage,
yeah.
Michigan assistant coach,
Yeah,
UCLA
she was my
star.
She
Yes.
was my teammate for many years, and then flipped over
She
and went
caused
to
you
another
great
team.
pain?
And she did. She caused me some pain.
See how quick that answer was, too? They always know.
Always
Yeah.
know. Always know.
Didn't take her any time to think that.
1-2 is fouled off.
There were a couple of Japanese, but I figured nobody would know that. So, yeah.
Batting them out.
Did you have a pitching menace? Oh, gave you problems?
Monica Abbott, for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Lefty on lefty, and that's why I do think the angles matter, because
Yeah.
no one could replicate what a left-handed curveball, what we're seeing into these right-handed batters right now, same with the lefties. It's just a tough physics angle to be able to get barrel.
Yeah, because a righty can throw a screwball in there, but it's still a different movement. It doesn't have the sharp bite.
They both, by the way, do have, let's see, assistants or volunteers or grad assistants. Like Shannon Sale is still with the Oklahoma team, and Carrie Eberly is still around Oklahoma State softball too. So they have very good pitchers that played for them that could throw the occasional BP, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Always makes a difference, you know, seeing that live arm either side of the plate.
Two and two.
Love that spot. Love that pitch. And for pitchers even right now at home, just because it wasn't a strike or called a strike doesn't mean it wasn't a great pitch. 1-2 count, get in off the plate. That sets it into Jana John's mind with 2 strikes. But she's going to get in there.
Snow and Johns have made her throw a few pitches here. 15th for the last 2 batters. There's one on.
Love the battle. I'm not kidding, this is tough to see. I know it's hard because you're not in the batter's box. I've been there. When you've just got funky shadows, I mean, you're gonna get your regular shadows, but because these are coming across the field, it's just a different look when you see the ball out of the hand look one way, and then as it gets like 5 feet from you, it's a different color, it changes depth.
2-2 pitch. Full count. Sooners a shot at their first base runner of the night. They have been so disciplined all year at the plate. Twice as many walks as strikeouts. They have more home runs than strikeouts as a team.
Which is incredible.
120 home runs, in fact, to lead the country.
I think the only place you go now is back in, off the plate. She takes, you give her first base. Because at this point, what you don't want to do is come over that middle of the plate after she's seen so many pitches. Get in on her hands, off the plate.
So far in the back of the box, just away from the plate.
She may have gotten away with one there, Jess. Had a little meat on that bone.
It was up, it was middle. Heck of a bat. 11th pitch coming. When you get to double digits, especially when you're just trying to get a base runner, your first base runner, heck of an at-bat from your 8th.
Number 8 hitter who's a .320 hitter on the season, by the way. They also have the best batting average in all the land. And it'll be a 12-pitch count. Right back up the middle, base hit. What an at-bat for Jana Johns, and the first hit of the night for the Sooners.
Listen to this crowd. I mean, they were with her every pitch of this at-bat. You're going 12 pitches throughout this, the foul balls, and as she kept throughout this at-bat, the crowd just got louder and louder and louder. This is what you didn't want. They're lucky this stayed, just a base hit. Short and swing on a pitch middle away, drives it right back up the middle for the first base runner for these Sooners.
Kelly Maxwell threw 20 pitches through the first 2 innings. She has now thrown 20 pitches to the 7 and 8 batters this inning. They have made her work. And here's Riley Boone in that 9 spot.
Yeah, biggest thing about that at bat too is now, barring a double play, is you get the top of this order back up with a runner on base, and that's what you want in this inning. You want Jada Coleman up to bat with someone on base.
Line to second, and then the overthrow at first, allowing Johns to dive back in safely of what should have been a double play.
Well, and Riley Boone almost took out Jana Johns at first base. She didn't realize that ball was caught. She was trying to go to second base. And this is a boom, easy double play. Get your pitcher out of this inning. Brianna Evans, I mean, she just throws this ball. She doesn't actually get her feet set. It's such a quick, easy play. She's totally opened up. throws this away, but watch Riley Boone come in and run over, almost take out Jana Johns. She didn't see her catch it.
No. So with 2 outs now, the top of the order in Jada Coleman. Sophomore from the Colony in Texas. Coleman lashes one right back up the middle. 2 on with 2 outs for Jocelyn Alo. Couple of well-struck balls. Now Alo will step in. Grounded out on a changeup back in the first. Last year's National Player of the Year and the leading contender to win it again. Up and out of the zone, 1-0.
Well, this is where you're almost forced to throw to Jocelyn Alo. Tiare Jennings has done such a good job of protecting Alo. This entire lineup, pick your poison.
Home runs on the season, only one of those off of a left-hander. Tops in OU history, home runs, runs batted in. Number 2 in all those other offensive categories. Strike at the knees, 2-1.
That take tells me she's looking middle away. That wasn't even that far in.
No, that was a curveball on the inside corner. You're right, Jess. They're looking for that backdoor curve.
Oh, the gap out in left center to the base of the wall. Johns will come in to score. Coleman holds up at third. And the Sooners grab the lead on the RBI single for Jocelyn Alo.
Just with so much power, she's going to go around and get this ball and still get it into the gap. Look at where this pitch is. It is low, it is down, but she just gets that bat head down to it and just drives it right back up the middle. That is just amazing bat control. It's that average, it's the power, it's the complete package. Puts Oklahoma up on the board.
The third single of the inning. And it was all triggered by the 12-pitch at-bat for Jana Johns, who singled to start the rally. Holly?
Well, Jocelyn Alo showing up big in that moment, and it's fitting. Tonight is her senior night. She's got 11 friends and family. Her parents and grandmother are here from Hawaii to support her this weekend in her final homestand as a Sooner. And my favorite story about Jocelyn is Patty Gasso was recruiting her. She saw some of her softball video, but she was a little raw. But it took a video of her winning the 184-pound state wrestling championship. Patty Gasso said, "This girl is wrestling and a state champion. I'm signing her."
Well, opponents have been wrestling with what to do with her ever since.
Well, and what I love about that at bat too is she's the home run queen, but she's always focused on just getting a hit, getting runs in. The complete hitter, and she showed it in that last at bat.
Tiare Jennings popped up to the first baseman, her first time up. Got a piece of that. Sophomore from San Pedro, California, last year's National Freshman of the Year.
When you go back to that potential double play that could have been turned, gotten Cowgirls out of the inning, and this is where Oklahoma's so strong. They just take advantage of every break.
Jennings looking for the gapper the other way, and it clears the wall. 3-run home run, Tiare Jennings. Busting it open for OU.
best thing Tiare Jennings does is go opposite field. Watch this swing and the power that it brings. I mean, she just meets a pitch middle up. Not trying to pull it, even get it up the middle. She meets it. She does this better than anyone in the country. Her ability to have power from center field to right field is the best. And that key situation, knowing exactly what she was looking for. And again, it comes back. The Sooners didn't even have a base runner with 1 out in this inning. 12 pitch at bat from Jana Johns. And basically a free pass from Brianna Evans, the second baseman for Oklahoma State.
Well, and that's a big mistake. That's an 0-2 pitch that got hit out of the park. Kelly Maxwell does usually not make that mistake. That's just the 6th home run of the year that she's given up.
Coleman and Allo single. Jennings, the 3-run blast. And a 4-0 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's Grace Lyons, line to short back in the 2nd inning. Senior out of Peoria, Arizona. Has been an All-American, a Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12. One of their terrific leaders, and Maxwell gets the strikeout over there to end the inning. But a 4 spot on the board for the home side.
Tiare Jennings coming up big, the sophomore on the outside pitch on an 0-2 count. She drives it out of the yard. Her 22nd home run of the year, a big 4 spot for the Sooners.
To the top of the 4th, and now Jordan's sitting on a 4-run lead. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Cowgirls. First pitch to Caitlin Carwile, a ball. Carwile struck out on a changeup back in the 1st. A pair of strikeouts for Ball, both with the off speed. Catches the corner, 1-1. Beth Mullins, Michelle Smith, Jessica Mendoza, Holly Rowe from Marita Hines Field in Norman, Oklahoma. Game 1 of our 3-game Bedlam series. All the games for you. Tonight, tomorrow, Saturday in prime time on the ESPN networks. We're on the Deuce tomorrow, ESPNU Saturday night. 4-0 Sooners with the lead. Tiare Jennings, the 3-run home run, but as Patty Gasso referenced, the trigger really to the rally. Jana Johns, a 12-pitch at-bat that she ended with a single right back up the middle, came in to score their first run. Jocelyn Allo's RBI single. Johns backhand to knock it down, and it scoots through. Leadoff is on for Oklahoma State.
This ball's hit hard in the backhand of Jana Johns. It's definitely a ball she can field. Patty Gasso was just talking about the emphasis on defense. Not an easy ball, but definitely if you ask Jana, she would get that 9 out of 10 times.
Still waiting for the official score on that one. Here's Miranda Ellish. And they will rule that a base hit for Caitlin Carwile. Ellish grounded out on the first pitch she saw back in the 1st. Got that back foot right on the chalk. Catches ball 2 go by. Started her career at the University of Oregon after she was the National High School Player of the Year. Then followed her head coach Mike White, transferring to Texas, and then left the Longhorns. Took a year off last year to get her mental fitness in order, and missed the game. Decided she needed to come back and finish her business, and found a home in Stillwater. She flies out there, 1 down.
She said she was done playing. She moved to Birmingham, Alabama. She was given lessons. She's kind of just over the game. Didn't like the way that it made her feel anymore. Wasn't happy. And it wasn't until she was watching the Women's College World Series in Odyssey Alexander last year, like so many of us. But for her, it was that renewed passion for the game. And Made a couple phone calls, went into that transfer portal, and here she is playing another year.
Yep. There's Julia Cottrell. Johns, Jennings, Snow, double play, Oklahoma. Side retired.
This is an Oklahoma team who can do it all. Their defense shining here in the inning. Jana Johns is going to go and get it over Tiara Jennings to Snow for the double play to end the inning.
Maxwell had to throw 33 pitches. Then it was the good Janet Johns at bat that triggered it. Tiara Jennings ended it with the 3-run home run. An RBI single for Jocelyn Allo as well. And here's 5, 6, 7 in the lineup. Lindsey Elam. Fifth year out of Chickasha, Oklahoma, behind the dish. 5-game hitting streak coming in tonight. And swinging a good bat of late. Reached for that away. 1-1. Alyssa Brito behind her there on deck. Packed house tonight for our Thursday night throwdown. Marita Hines Field here in Norman.
It's cool to see them lined up outside.
Hours.
3 hours before the game. Sold out, standing room only, and there are people standing, trying anywhere they can get a peek at this game.
I just want to be in the environment. It's bedlam.
Yeah, they got the home run village set up again tonight, so folks can bring their chairs and their blankets. They've got the big screen out there beyond the left field fence, so more fans can enjoy the evening and the experience. There you go, hoping for a home run ball.
Some food trucks.
Nice.
I'll come back in the 5th.
Has anybody seen Jess? Shadow somehow never drop onto the U in the logo. And the lead off for Elam. She's had some good success, 300 hitter this year against lefties. So she's aboard for Brito. Alyssa lined out to left. Looked like Hobson was in trouble on the catch. That was when the Shadows were still stringing across the field. Those have disappeared now. The sun has set beyond the trees out left.
That was a hard hit ball to left.
Swing and a miss for Brito in Tustin, California.
And that's the pitch that Kelly Maxwell's been struggling with a little bit this evening. It's that outside arm side of the plate, which typically pitchers are so strong on, but she's just losing it. I think her hips might be a tad bit early. That arm brushes off. She doesn't quite have the control. You can see at times Julia Cottrell, the catchers, are having to really reach across her body to grab that pitch.
Brito, base hit the opposite way. Elam checks for third, but will hold at second. Back-to-back base knocks for the Sooners.
passion. That's exactly what Patty Gasso says when she talks about Alyssa Brito. And you see her just go opposite field on this. Doesn't hit it too hard, but definitely gets it through. What I love is when she gets on base past the diving Evans. Look at this reaction. Base hit, keep this going. That kind of passion. Talked about the fans, Bedlam, everything. She brings that every game, no matter who they're playing.
That'll bump Elam into scoring position now for Talon Snow. Struck out on a curveball back in the third. Thinking about dropping it down. Fifth year out of Chino Hills, California, who started her career at Auburn.
Well, this is where Oklahoma is just so good. They're off the plate, they make adjustments, and they cross you up.
To second for one, over to first. Not in time, so they get the first out of the inning, and runners on first and third. And as Brito saying she was safe at second base, now she will trot off. Well, now Patty Gasso wants to come out and talk about it. Chad Steers, Carlos Guzman, Bubba Ewald, our umpires tonight.
Struggled the last week.
And they call Brito safe at second. Evans had her feet off the bag. Successful challenge for Oklahoma. Bases are loaded with nobody out.
It's also trusting your base runner. I mean, Brito saw it the whole way. She had the best look on the field. She was sliding in, told her coach Patty, because you're not going to really be able to see that with a blind eye. But watch Brito sliding in. She sees, boom, left foot is not on the bag. Or the right foot.
So Brito gets to stay. She's at second, Elam at third, Snow at first for Janet Johns, who had that terrific at-bat her last time up. 12 pitches, ended up singling, and ultimately coming in to score the first run for OU.
Well, within those 12 pitches, she fouled off 7 of them. Getting rid of pitches until she found the one that she wanted. This Oklahoma team just has such good discipline. The first time through the lineup, you could kind of see the first 6 batters were feeling it out, trying to see what do they want to attack, what are they hunting. Completely different now, second and third time through the lineup.
Here's the one that started it all. 12 pitch at bat. She got to get 4 at bats in one.
To Johns. Takes a strike. Inside corner. Full count. Three-two pitch, bases loaded, nobody out, and a strikeout for Maxwell. One down.
Maxwell with the bases loaded, coming in and attacking Johns. She's going to work the setup pitch as a curveball on the inside corner, just hammers that inside pitch, and then is going to go right back to the outside with the off speed. It's low, it's slow, and she gets Johns to swing through it. A crucial pitch.
Number 9 hitter Riley Boone. Line to second, her first time up. And for a strike from Kelly Maxwell. No base runners through the first 2 innings, 7 base runners in the last 2 innings for the Sooners. Boone back to Maxwell, makes the play to home for the force out. That's all they'll get. 2 down, and here comes the top of the order. So Brito, Snow, and Boone on base for Jada Coleman. A pop-up in the first, singled and scored in the third on the Jennings home run. The snap throw down to third, and back diving in is Brito. Coleman, 5th best batting average in the country, 3rd best on base percentage in the nation. Control able to keep it in front of her, 2-0. With Jocelyn Alo on deck.
Confidence you have when you are Jada Coleman, knowing because Alo is on deck, she will bring you a strike. Bases loaded, you're going to see something good to hit.
Reno. Takes 3-1. Maxwell fights back to 3-2 now. With the 2 outs, folks will be getting a good jump. On the season, Coleman batting .500 with the bases loaded. So is Alo behind her, so pick your poison. And that'll walk in a run, 5-0 Sooners. First free pass of the night for Kelly Maxwell. So in the 3rd inning, it was the throwing error that extended the inning. Here in the 4th, it's the miscue at second base that extends the inning, and it allows Jocelyn Alo to come to the plate with the bases loaded.
That was her zone, too. She might have been taken. There wasn't a whole lot of strikes being thrown the last at bat.
She just has such great plate coverage for how far she stands off of it.
Away, 1-1. Patty Gasso told us this week how excited Jocelyn was, anticipating a big finish to her career at Oklahoma, trying to go back-to-back for national championships. So you get that sense around her right now. She's ready to unload. Maxwell checks the card, didn't like how that one was setting up, so she'll step away. Two and two. Woven a run with a base hit her last time up. Holds up. Full count again with the bases loaded.
Sold out crowd. This is what you want. Bases loaded, nowhere to put the home run queen. Did you hear the collective exhale from this crowd?
Gasp of the home fans. You know, if you've been around the game a while, there are maybe a handful of players that Chamberlain comes to mind, Movement comes to mind, that the expectation that everything else around the ballpark stops when certain people come to the plate and swing the bat, and she's one of them. Full count with 2 outs. And the discipline to draw the walk to get another run in. Back-to-back free passes to score a couple.
And that's the maturity that we've seen with Jocelyn Alo. She felt the crowd. She knows the moment. She wants to swing the bat so bad. Of course, she's seen it so much throughout the season. But to be calm, to be collect and take in that situation and just miss the pitch before, that's the selflessness of a big power hitter.
Couple of hits in the inning, a couple of walks, a successful challenge by Patty Gasso to take an out off the board. That has helped extend the inning. And after a 4-run third, they've added a couple more here in the fourth. The base is still jacked for the home run hitter, Tiare Jennings. She has homered in the last 4 games now for the Sooners. And a fly ball, first pitch swinging out to right. Carwile's got it. They leave them loaded, but manage to get a couple more home. 6-zip Sooners. The swag that she brings to that circle for this Sooner pitching staff that everybody else in the ballpark feeds off of.
She has just, I mean, there's an energy about her. I mean, first of all, I mean, she walks around and it's like she just cannot wait to throw the ball. She reminds me of Max Scherzer, the way that he just kind of sulks around the mound. And then when she gets onto the rubber, then she has that like Craig Kimbrell, like, you know, kind of shaking out the arm. I mean, from a hitter's perspective, she exudes confidence. She is going to come at you, and you know it from pitch one.
Well, and ironically, it's a bit of the moxie that Sam Schaller showed in Stillwater for the Pokes the last few years.
She's got good rhythm, and you can see everything that she uses from the arm swing to her weight coming back off that back foot off the back of the rubber. Gets loaded up and explodes off that pitching rubber.
Holly Rowe?
Well, Kenny Gajewski actually said earlier this week that he said, I know that she'll remind a lot of people of our former pitcher, Sam Shao, and a lot of people hated to watch her pitch and didn't like her, but we loved her. Somebody who is so competitive, they're going to show all of their emotion, all of their competitiveness in the circle. And as you watch Jordy Bahl right now, it's like she's just going to unfurl all of that energy coming straight at you.
Well, there's just a lot of passion in this Oklahoma team. They get a base hit, they pump their arms, right? They walk with the bases loaded, right? How excited was Coleman when she walked with the bases loaded? You know, she was pumped. So, you know, this is a team that just plays with a ton of passion and energy.
40-plus games, though. I mean, this is a huge game, but you watch them any game, And this is the energy they bring regardless of the score.
1-2 to Carly Petty, struck her out. Number 3 for Jody Ball, 1 down.
The ball brings the rise ball to the top, and then this is the changeup that she just drops in. This is a flip change. She throws to the outside part of the plate. It's going to spin in the opposite direction. Long and aggressive. She gets off that pitching rubber. Doesn't really change her motion at all, so she sells it. Picks up another big strikeout.
Just foul outside the line down right. Cheyenne Factor popped up her first time out. 27 shutouts on the season for Oklahoma. They've only given up 26 earned runs. Opponents batting just $139 against them. And in 40 of their 46 games, they have given up 1 run or fewer. That'd be none. That's pretty good.
None is less than 1.
That'd be none.
She reminds me of Courtney Blades a little bit too. Back in the day, Southern Mississippi was the strikeout queen. She had the record, the NCAA career record. A lot of energy, passion came at batters.
Jennings going back for it, can't get there. And that'll drop in for a base hit for Factor with 1 down. Well, Sunday night, the Dodgers and the Cubs will finish up their 3-game series from Wrigley Field. It's available on ESPN and on ESPN Deportes and ESPN Radio. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern with baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown for the Cubs and the Dodgers. MLB Sunday night.
Walker Buehler and Marcus Stroman going head-to-head.
Chelsea Alexander will come on to run at first base. Factor can re-enter. And the Sooners looking to scratch something across here. Get a number up on that scoreboard. They don't want to give Oklahoma too many chances to try and run earlier. They would be 2 outs away from it, or 2 runs away from it in the bottom of the 5th. Lyons, Elam, and Brito due up for the Sooners. Pennington in front of that change. Whew.
So beautiful. And you see it by the swing and miss, how much the miss is, because from a hitter's point of view, I mean, they're 43 feet away, and you've got to catch up to velocity. So that's what's in your mind when you start your swing, and you see Pennington here just way ahead. It just shows you the beauty of how deceptive that pitch is.
Pennington making a career start, 255, hasn't missed one since she arrived in Stillwater, enjoying her best season at the plate. There's 10 home runs on the season, 40 runs batted in. They've mustered just the 3 hits so far. They have not gotten a runner into scoring position. And they will now. Alexander able to take second. Score that one, a wild pitch to Ball. And a chance here now for Oklahoma State. 2-2 to Pennington. Off the bag at third, fair ball. Alexander being waved home, the throw to the plate, not in time. And the Cowgirls put a run up 6-1. RBI single Sydney Pennington.
This is a 2-strike count. And the ability for Sydney Pennington just to get herself into position, she kind of slows down her lower half. When do you see this? Rarely, right off the bag. And because of that, it kills the ball, allowing it to be just floating out in front of Alyssa Brito, who has one of the best arms, by the way, in left field.
That's back-to-back hits for the Cowgirls on 2 strike counts. And that'll bring up the lefties at the bottom. Here's Bree Evans, a strikeout in the 3rd, followed by Avery Hobson. Really good Oklahoma catchers. You don't usually see opponents try and steal on them. Between Elam and Kinsey Hansen. And now Jen Rocha will come out to talk with the young pitcher. Jen Rocha handles the staff.
Chip Breen from that Oklahoma team. He said Patty probably wants it back about right now, but he feels very comfortable out on this field. He loved his time here, still has so many friends, family in this area that he loves dearly. And even though he might be a Sooner at heart, he is all in on Oklahoma State. And he has really turned this program into something special.
Yeah, 7 seasons after he was a part of the 2 national championships at Florida. They've been in 2nd place 3 times. They want to bust through to that top spot. But a tall task taking 2 of 3 here in Norman, where again they are looking for their first win of the century in the Bedlam rivalry here at Marita Hines Field. The last win here was 1997. And if you're talking about winning a series against Oklahoma, undefeated in their last 65 in Big 12 play. That's 11 years.
Yeah, gotta go all the way back to Missouri in 2011.
When the Tigers were still in the Big 12.
Probably Chelsea Thomas.
Good call.
Yep.
Nice battle, too, from Bree Evans. She had a very quick at-bat, her last one, striking out. Big miss, too. It looked like kind of the adrenaline you have coming into this game. Wasn't seeing the ball well. Now battling, working the count. Seeing the 8 hitters, both sides, have long at-bats. That's the only way to hit Jordy ball. You got to simplify. And what I'm seeing, adjustment, second time through the order from these hitters, is just literally eliminating that lower half. We're seeing a lot of just upper body swings. Just get to contact. She brings that velocity. Because she's got the movement with it, you simplify, you'll see it.
Another 3-2 pitch. Pops her up with the changeup again, and coming out is Brito in left. 2 down. Avery Hobson's in the 9th spot in the lineup. Hobson check swing foul. Now Thursday night throwdown kicks off our Bedlam coverage. Also this weekend, big series, UCF and Wichita State to decide the American. And UCLA and Arizona State, going to be a big finish out in Pac-12 country. The Sun Devils control their own fate, but they finish UCLA and at Washington in 2nd and 3rd place.
All of these Series postseason field on.
Virginia Tech, Arkansas have already clinched the ACC and the SEC. Northwestern is a win away from clinching the Big Ten. Those would all be teams that are in line for top 8 seeds on Selection Sunday. Oh, 2 count to Hobson. Struck her out. And this lineup for the Sooners, #1 in the country in batting average, in home runs, in scoring. Just about every offensive category, similar to what they did last year when they broke all kinds of NCAA records, including those categories: batting average, home run, scoring. En route to their 5th national championship. Lions 0 for 2 is having a dynamite season. In fact, you could make a case. Now, granted, Arlo's been walked an awful lot, but you could make a case that Grace Lyons is the Big 12 Player of the Year.
Hitting 500 in conference. Yeah, she's been outstanding.
Got a 6-game hitting streak coming in where she's batting over 700 during that stretch. Taken all the way there, 3-1. Patty Gasso said she's comfortable, she's confident. Those are 2 really good things to have with a bat in your hand or a glove on your hand. And she draws the lead-off walk. 3rd walk in the last couple of innings for Maxwell. The Big 12 now on ESPN Plus is a must-have for Big 12 fans. Catch college baseball action tomorrow at 7 Eastern. It's Oklahoma and TCU. Also softball tomorrow. Texas and Baylor, 7:30 Eastern tomorrow night. And don't miss all the first-round games and the second semifinal of the Big 12 softball tournament coming up in a couple of weeks. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/Big 12 now. I should say, actually, not this weekend, but next. On Saturday, May 14th, we will have 4 conference championship games lined up for you. Starting at 11 o'clock in the morning, we'll go American, ACC, Big 12, and SEC.
That's how you spend a Saturday.
Yes, and then we'll jet on up to Bristol for the Selection Show primetime Sunday night, May 15th.
You got a jet?
Yeah. I didn't say it was my jet. Somebody's jet.
Then you know we've arrived.
Yes.
If anybody out there has a nice jet,
And they happen to be going from Florida to
gotta
Bristol.
be a lot of flights, right?
Gotta be.
We're excited too. The 7 Innings podcast. We'll have a special Road to the Women's College World Series immediately following the Selection Show, and an hour to break it all down for you. And then, of course, every game on the road to the Women's College World Series.
And last year,
The lengthen Women's College World Series.
That's right.
lengthening. And last year was the first year that all 17 games were played.
This is true. Both of the finalists last year had to come out of the losers bracket. Oklahoma and Florida State fought their way through. To Elam. Lindsay singled her last time up. Hit and run was on. Maxwell cruised through the first couple of innings and then has run into a bit of trouble the last couple. Bobbled it short by Naomi. And for the second weekend in a row, one of the top fielding teams in the country has had some bobbles.
Well, going into Florida State last weekend, only 20 errors on the year. A couple of errors in that big series, and then tonight, this is the second error. Really, there was a mental error as well earlier. This ball just goes off of Naomi's glove. You can see she knows this is a double play. She can see the anticipation. She just does not glove it up firmly. Evans waiting at second, but another opportunity for the Sooners here to put some runs up on the board.
So instead of 2 on and nobody out, there are 2 on for Alyssa Brito, who can now walk this off with a home run. The run rule coming into play here in the bottom of the 5th. 45 wins on the season, 35 of those run rule victories. That's 76% of their games. Brito a line out in the second, singled and scored in the 4th. Slow roll to Maxwell. Rifles that over to third, not in time, and the bases are loaded.
What should you say? I mean, this is, it's a left-handed pitcher. It is weakly hit. But I like the idea of going after the lead runner. I think they get her.
Yeah.
They're going to challenge here. Good job by the umpiring crew to get that one right.
Slow developing play, but Maxwell being a lefty is going across her body. Pennington with the stretch. I like the fact that they got it right.
That's why we've got review now.
That's right.
2 calls asked for review, both of them overturned.
Pinch hitter coming up here for Oklahoma. Patty Gasso will go to the bench and bring on Kinsey Hansen, junior from Norco, California, who's been slowed this year by injuries. Good enough, though, to make the U.S. national team for this coming summer. 277 on the season, 7 home runs, 22 runs batted in as a runner in scoring position here. Elam and Brito aboard. Nice luxury to have when you can pull an All-American.
Yeah.
Off the bench here as a pinch hitter. There's a few of them over there that could step in. It's the quality of the depth in that Oklahoma dugout. 2-1 here to Hansen.
We've seen it now, last few innings, that arm side that you were talking about, Smitty. Kelly Maxwell was so in control, both sides of the plate. We've seen just a way to right-handed batters, especially. They're unable to get that pinpoint precise location.
Hansen reaches full count. Stanley. Three-two pitch here to Kinsey Hansen. And drift into the crowd.
Sixth full count worked by these Sooner hitters. They're getting Kelly Maxwell's pitch count up.
So Rhoda Evans at second. She'll make the play over to first. And with two down, that bumps a couple into scoring position for Janet Johns. Single and a run scored in the third, and then Jana struck out on an off speed in the fourth.
It's one of the little things that Oklahoma does so well. Advancing runners, their success rate over 600%. And it doesn't seem like much, but it is. It's, you know, you're giving up an out, they're getting something almost constantly. Every at bat, now they're in the situation, a base hit could plate a couple more runs.
There's the 0-1. Sooners so far on the night 2 of 8 with runners in scoring position. That will jump away from Julia Cottrell, and sliding in at home safe is Lindsay Elam. 7-1.
Pitch low in the zone, it just hops away from Julia Cottrell. Good jump by Elam, reading it, seeing it get away. I'm sure that'll be called a wild pitch.
2-1 to Johns. Well, good enough as it is, and if you start helping them out, then you're asking for more trouble. An error in the inning, a wild pitch. The last 2 innings, there have been 3 walks.
Well, in the third inning, they gave away an out, right? So they gave them 4 outs. Fourth inning again, gave them 4 outs. They're hard enough to keep off the board with 3 outs.
But I do think you can walk away from this game. It's not over yet, but 2 more games in the series, and you talk about how much Oklahoma State beat themselves early on.
For sure.
But that's the only way to beat the Sooners team. The one loss against Texas came on an errorless defense.
Correct.
That Texas had. Yep.
Full count to Jana. Ball 4.
Well, 4 walks for Kelly Maxwell is extremely unusual. I mean, she typically has very good control. With these last 2 innings, the Sooners have worked her deep into counts.
How many foul balls have we seen?
Yeah, a lot of foul balls.
I mean, just wasting pitches. Saying, nope, I don't want that one. Giving it, nope, nope. Let's do this again. Here we go. That's hard. That wears on a pitcher.
Their pitch count's up to 115 in just the 5th inning. Here's the number 9 hitter, Riley Boone, 0 for 2 tonight. Run rule in effect. That is the game winner at first base for the Sooners if they can get Jana Johns home. Boone dropping out a bunt foul.
You don't see that too often with 2 outs. But with that runner at third base, and Riley Boone, very good bunter, reading the defense with 2 outs, kind of playing her a little further back.
Throw it on the third. Guido's back. 1-1, the count to Boone. And then the top of the order, Coleman, Allo, and Jennings have driven in the runs tonight. Well, now that game winner into scoring position as Johns is able to take second. In for a strike, 1-2. Boone, a tapper to short. Naomi over to first. Got her. That'll end the inning. Another run up. And now wait, I think the Sooners are calling for the cans on the ears. Do they want to challenge this? And they will. And why not? If the run ends up counting and they score, then you could shave a half an hour off your night if you can knock in the game winner at third base. From the Sooner perspective. And she is safe.
Coleman. She's given up 4 hits, but just working those 4 Ks, mostly on the arm side of the plate.
And Jordy is back out there to work the top of the 6th. Game 1 of Bedlam. Back here tomorrow night on ESPN2 at 7 o'clock Eastern. We'll have Game 3 for you on ESPNU Saturday night. If the score holds, the Sooners would need to win 1 of the next 2 to win a 10th consecutive Big 12 championship. It's been a decade of dominance under Patty Gasso. With 4 national championships, 6 trips to the championship series to play in the finals. And really, we're not even counting 2020 since there was no postseason. 8 of the last 9 World Series, Oklahoma has been there. Johns, great snag at third, 1 down.
Wow. Wow. There's good defense. And then there's just ridiculous talent. Jana Johns, she's been putting on a show at third base. This is probably 80 miles an hour off the bat, smoked. And I love that she gets down. She gets her butt down so that she's able to see that ball, catch it. Got a ton of time to throw out Kylie Naomi at first base.
Now the Sooners moved Naomi to the top of the order looking for a spark, and or the Cowgirls do, and the Sooners were able to keep her off the bases tonight. Here's Caitlin Carwile, struck out in the first. Base hit in the 4th. Really good off-speed stuff tonight from Jordy Ball.
She throws it consistency, she hides it.
Got Carwile with that in the first, and now has her 0-2.
Got that back foot kind of angled Seen some funkier stance being tried in this game. Don't see this very often either. We saw Julia Cottrell early literally stand in the batter's box with her legs crossed. Kind of like a drill you would see working on, but we'll see right here, Caitlin Carwell angling that foot.
And now conference out in the circle. That'll allow us to remind you that it's the 26th season of the WNBA that gets underway this weekend. We've got a primetime one for you Saturday night on ESPN. Connecticut and the New York Liberty. Kylie Rowe?
Well, I will actually be doing that game, so I'm flying tomorrow and going to be there in New York City. Very excited for that one. Jonquel Jones, last season's MVP, coming in stronger than ever, and Alyssa Thomas coming back from a torn Achilles last season. She's coming back full strength. I expect Connecticut to be one of the best teams in the league this season.
Oh, okay.
Season prediction. Get that on record.
Johns grabs another one at third. 2 down.
Jana Johns has just been outstanding. A lot of it's her positioning. Look at where she is. She's so far off the line. This ball struck well again. Blown a little kiss out to the outfield.
You thought you were going to get one? Sorry.
He's going to gobble them all up. Here's Miranda Elish. Two-time All-American looking for her first hit of the night. This will obviously be a big part of their storyline moving forward. Elish, bicep tendon injury a couple of weekends ago against Texas. Initially, they weren't even sure if she'd be able to play again this year. Was able to return and hit last weekend, hitting again here in the lineup against Oklahoma. Still uncertain when she might show up in the pitching circle as Johns commits the error at third and a 2-out base runner. For more, here's Holly.
Well, guys, there was actually very positive news with Miranda Elish's arm. The MRI showing a slight tear in that tendon, but she has been able to tolerate some pitching activity. And Kenny Gajewski had her on a Zoom call this week with Florida's former pitcher Stephanie Brombacher, who suffered a similar injury, to try to help her work through it and figure out how she can get back to pitching. So there is a real possibility that we can see Miranda Elish in this postseason and coming up in the next couple of weeks back in the circle. And I talked to her for about an hour on the phone this week. She really wants to get back and pitch. She's devastated about the injuries. She just actually wants to do anything she can to help this team. They have been a lifesaver for her joining the Cowgirls this season.
Yeah, she's lifted here for the pinch runner. Callahan is on, and Johns an opportunity to make up for that error. Takes care of business. To the bottom of the sixth we goes. And that's one of the things they want to put on the resume here in the next 72 hours if they can. Of course, Oklahoma only has the one loss all year, that being to Texas. They are 45-1. And if they can score a couple of runs here with the top of their lineup, they can get another run rule win and end it early. It's Coleman, Allo, and Jennings coming up. Each has driven in at least a run today. Jennings, 3 of them with her home run shot. Allo itching for a crack at sending one out into the home run village.
It's interesting, Jada Coleman within that at bat. The pitch was coming inside. I don't know if she read something from the catcher. Just knew. She just backed off the plate. As Kelly Maxwell was starting to pitch.
Yeah, I saw that as well. So
Just moved in the box as the pitch was coming.
Dirt 2-1. That's a good position to be in with Alo hitting behind you. Well, that's the spot here for Coleman. Draws the walk, and here comes Jocelyn, Holly.
Well, Jocelyn Alo has put in so much work as a youngster to be in this position as the home run queen of NCAA softball. Her father, Levi, and she would come to California every summer when she was in high school. They would save up all year, they would rent an apartment for 2 months, and they would drive to all of the softball tournaments and play here. She said, I would put in all that work, and at one point I was really struggling. I wasn't doing well, and I finally said to my dad, I feel like I'm wasting our money. I'm letting you down. He said, no, you're not. You're going to be great. She kept working, and here she is today.
And what a moment it was earlier this year when Patty Gasso scheduled a return trip to her native Hawaii to play some games, and sure enough, she was able to break Lauren Chamberlain's all-time home run record back home. And has been continuously adding to that total. Takes a look at a strike there, 1-1.
She had 5 last weekend against Texas Tech. She's just been on a tear.
#1 pick in the Athletes Unlimited draft that just happened this Wednesday. Kind of a duh moment if you're not picking Jocelyn Alo coming out of college, but still to put that to the list of accolades, going #1. The young girls that look on, try to emulate, be like. She's a good one.
2-1 pitch in this All-American matchup between her and Maxwell.
I also love, and I know Holly had touched on this, but it hasn't been a perfect story. She's had struggles, and she's been benched. She's been to the point where she didn't want to play anymore, and I love her story and the fact that it's all coming to an end here.
Inside corner, full count.
At least for her college career. She's going to be playing, I hope, for a long time. Probably needs her.
Three-two pitch to Jocelyn Alo. Draws another walk. That's the second in a row, and on base for the 3rd time in her 4 plate appearances tonight. And now again, with the run rule in effect, the game winner is on base for Oklahoma. And here's Tiara Jennings. Now let's go back to that swing in the 3rd, Jess.
This is what got it all going. Jocelyn Alo had just scored the first run. This looked like it was going to be a double in the gap. Just kind of kept going right in over the fence in right center field, and this place exploded. Doesn't feel like it now, but leading into this, it was a pitcher's duel. The Sooners had yet to get on base heading into that 3rd inning. A huge home run.
Hannah Kaur is on to run for Alo at first base. If she touches home, that would end it as Jennings steps in. Home run, the 121st of the season for Oklahoma. About 52% of their scoring on the season, courtesy of home runs. A home run swing for Tiara and a home run miss, 1-2.
Weird chase. Don't see the Sooners chase outside the zone very often, but that rise ball, it can be enticing.
One-two pitch, got her.
And that's a heck of a sequence. I mean, she goes upstairs for the swing and miss, and this then coming down below. So she goes up, misses the barrel, and now you change the eyesight. So when you come down, and look at the movement and the break. I mean, you're talking about 2 pitches going in 2 different directions.
It's only the 10th strikeout of the season for Jennings. 3rd of the night now for Maxwell, and here's Grace Lyons. Six-game hit streaks in jeopardy. 0 for 2 with a walk. From Maxwell. Evans, the backhand flip Naomi over to first, double play. State looking for its first regular season title ever. Jordy Ball will try and close it out. Petty, Factor, and Pennington are due up. 5, 6, and 7 in the lineup. All 7 of the Sooner runs, by the way, have come with 2 outs tonight.
Saw a lot of early swings in this game from Oklahoma State bats. Now a lot more takes. Jordy Ball gets ahead in the count. 0-2, 2 pitches right away, back to back. And 2 takes from Carly Petty. Jordy Ball is not the pitcher you want to get behind. Remember, Petty had the base hit back in the 2nd. Super aggressive early. It's one of Rise ball, kind of almost at her chin.
Oh-2 from Jordy Ball. And a strikeout of Petty. Her 5th. 1 down.
This is why you don't want to get behind, because Jordy Ball, she's going to expand the zone, and now she's not going to give you another strike. She's going to make you chase. And chase she did. Carly Petty, about a 3/4 swing. Tried to hold up, but nope.
Pinch hitter coming up for Oklahoma State, Taylor Tuck. Will bat for Cheyenne Factor. Taylor's 2 for 4 as a pinch hitter this season.
Well, and I'm counting every strikeout for Ball is, except for one. One is on the rise. The other 4 are all on the changeup. So she's been really effective with using that pitch. And a lot of them out of the zone. Oklahoma State chasing them.
Back to Ball, 2 down. Sports Center's coming up next. On the road with Tennessee baseball visiting Kentucky. Ohtani dominant in Boston. Brianna Stewart going to join the show as we get set to jump into the opening weekend of the WNBA. All coming up on Sports Center next. Sydney Pennington got a chance for the Cowgirls. We will be back here tomorrow night, Game 2 on ESPN2 at 7 Eastern.
Back-to-back off-speed.
Both well located.
And down to their final strike. out. 3 in a row with the changeup. And a 6 strikeout performance, a 4-hitter for Jordy Bahl, and Oklahoma takes the opener of Bedlam 7-1.
Jordy Bahl has an outstanding rise ball, but it was the changeup late in the game that became super effective. The way she sells it, the way she flips this out, leads with the pinky, it drops down and spins in the opposite direction. It's moving, a very deceptive pitch. Jordy Bahl, the freshman, getting it done.
21st win of the season, her 14th complete game, and now the Sooners sit 1 win away from a regular season title for the 10th year in a row in the Big 12 Conference.
Can't give the Sooners much, and that's what happened. Third inning broke open that door, and they never looked back.
Beth Mullins, Michelle Smith, Jessica Mendoza, Holly Rowe. So glad you could be with us. We'll see you tomorrow night for Game 2. Sports Center's coming up on the road to the Women's College World Series.